Hi, good morning. Adam here. Gosh, looking kind of purple this morning. Anyway, welcome to Spirituality, Mediumship, and Beyond. And while I'm waiting for some of the in, I do these live, but I don't really announce, so we may or may not get live people, and this may just become a video. But anyway, be that as it may, welcome if you're catching this live or you're catching this as a video. And just a quick announcement. It's Beltane. Actually, if tomorrow, May 1st, is when Beltane tends to be celebrated by most people. But but it's the Beltane season now, and this Sunday we're going to celebrate that also on the channel. I'm going to do some free live mediumship. That'll be Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And just basically I get messages and we work through the live chat. So that's how it works on the YouTube live stream. And I'm also going to announce a discount code for services like readings, and I'm going to give away a free reading. So that's going to be my my thank you for all of my wonderful subscribers and my community, and perhaps even some new subscribers and new community members will come in. But in any event, welcome. So today I want to talk about the season of Beltane and things that we can do with our breath work, our breathing exercises, in order to be in sync with the seasons. And Beltane is May Day. It's one of the Celtic Sabbats. There's eight Sabbats, so it's the wheel of the year. So there's 8 different holidays. It starts with Samhain on Halloween, and then it progresses. And I see a couple of people found me. Hello, sorry, I'm looking all purple today. I have to get my camera working and get my live streaming software so we have better visuals. But anyway, be that as it may, Beltane is the time of the year of fertility. And it's the spring, leaves are coming on the trees. It's very windy today here in the Catskills, but the leaves are coming on the trees, and it's the time of fertility, and that's what Beltane is about. It's about manifestation. It's about conception, because a lot of animals are mating now, and a lot of flowers are coming out, so there's a lot of pollination. So it's really a celebration of sexuality and fertility, basically, as well. So in our lives, we can work with the different energies of the year in order to create certain effects in our life. And this is a really good time of the year to conceptualize like new directions, new ideas, new beginnings, or stuff like that. It's a good time for manifestation, and it's a good time to really work on our spirituality, our breathing, our breath work, which I'm going to show you a couple things today. So, hi, a couple of people. Hey, Jasmine. Hey, Dana. Hey, Yvonne. So a couple of people are in, and most people are going to see this as a video. So it's a good time to work on bringing the energies from our lower chakras into our upper chakras, just like the trees are bringing the sap from the roots up through their trunks and into their branches and forming flowers, leaves, and eventually fruits if they're fruiting trees. And we're all connected to nature. We're all part of nature. So if we work with these energies, with these cycles, that's the word I'm looking for. Hello. If we work with these cycles of nature, that's going to help. That's going to help you in your spiritual process and your spiritual growth. So there's some good little rituals or ceremonies that you can do for Beltane. One of them is the maypole. And when we do the maypole, the pole actually represents the phallus, which is a symbol of fertility and manifestation. And what you're doing is you're weaving your intentions into the maypole to creating allowing nature to assist you in creating your desires, to creating your desired outcomes in your life. But there's other things that you can do. You can do a little fire, or do a candle, and maybe just write down on one piece of paper those things that you don't wish to carry into the season. Like maybe, challenges that you've been facing, or challenges of the society, or the fear and the programming, and all that kind of stuff. And so you can you burn that away, and then on another paper, what are you manifesting? Writing is a good law of attraction exercise anyways. And when we write things, we're taking energy, concepts, energy, and creating form out of that, which are words. And that's what law of attraction or manifestation work is about. It's utilizing energy to create something physical and tangible in your life. So writing down your intentions, praying with the fire, these are all really, really good things. Now, I have to also say and interject that on these live chats, yeah, I'm going to be probably a little bit more candid about my views on what's going on in the world and stuff like that. Like on my videos, I tried not to polarize people too much, but at the same time, we're here. People like myself are here as spiritual teachers, and there's some very relevant things that are going on in the world. So, one of the things that we're going to find that's going on now is that the next 3 months are probably going to be the hardest 3 months of this. Oh, my crown chakra just lit up when I said that. So these next 3 months are probably going to be the hardest of this whole process of this issue from China spreading through the world, and everybody running amok and going crazy because of it, basically, to put it in a nutshell. And and there's astrology and numerology to back that up. And for that, I would refer you to Sharita Starr, who I don't believe is on YouTube, but you can Google her or find her on Facebook, and she will give you all the astrology as well as the numerology behind the challenges that we're facing. But what's going on now is there's a lot of fear programming that's happening, and a lot of control around that. And people are really starting to question things. And I think for us, what we need to do is to be compassionate, and to not judge other people's views or opinions, or not lash out at people because they have different viewpoints than yourself. Because we have to understand that there's an incredible amount of pressure, programming, peer pressure, or whatever, and people are feeling it, and people are not always going to be at their best. We need to have compassion. And I've been just going through like my Facebook feed today, and it's just like some of the stuff that's coming up. It's like vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers, and it's like the vaxxers want to figuratively kill the anti-vaxxers, and then the anti-vaxxers are like, you're not awake. If you think the vaccines are good, then you're not awake, and we're the awake ones. And it kind of goes back and forth. But we have to remember that, firstly, there is an agenda. There always is. There's a certain protocol. There's a certain corrupt flow of power that's been relevant on the planet for many, many, many years, and it's going more and more high tech. And we're dealing with a virus that mutates probably to a factor of about 100 of what other viruses mutate. I don't have the data, but the season of flu, you may get 1 or 2 variants per year, and with this virus, for 6 months, nothing. Then all of a sudden, as the vaccines start to roll out, all of a sudden there's 3 or 4 new variants. So I'm not saying it's wrong or anything, but if you follow like what's going on, like the news that's coming out, the progression of things, you have to understand that there's other agendas, there's other things at play. And we have, but the long and the short of it is, I really believe that we have to really create more unity and understand the other person's point of view with this. And and really just understand the reality that if you take the cases of people, that had maybe had the virus but didn't know they had it. Either they thought they had bad allergies for a few weeks, or they never got tested, or they didn't have any symptoms. And you estimate that in, we're talking about a virus that has a mortality rate of maybe 0.2%. And that's, from the latest things that I've been reading, that would be on the upper end of things. But then on the other side, we have to understand that this is a virus that spreads very, very easily and very quickly. So 2 to 4 times the factor of the flu. So if millions of people are getting it, 0.2% of them dying is 0.2% too much. And so we have to really kind of take the perspective on both accounts and understand that if we're vaccinated, especially with the Pfizer vaccine, that's very, very effective, then it really doesn't matter what other people are doing. Like, if other people are not vaccinated, they're risking themselves and they're risking other non-vaccinated people. And I understand, and I know that it's not 100% protection and all that, but understand also that there may be a little bit of a fear programming causing people to lash out at those when they're protected. They're 96% protected according to the latest statistics if you got both shots basically as well. And and that's just an important thing to keep in mind. Keep perspective. That's all I'm saying about this. I'm not making any judgments. I know what's right for me at this time. You guys may know what's right for you and everything like that as well. Hey, Cody, thanks for joining in. But these are things to keep into account and just to understand. I talked a little bit about the corrupt flow of money and power. That's very evident, and it's not even wild conspiracy theories. I think conspiracy theories around this start because people can sense that something's wrong. Like, people can sense they're being manipulated, but they do not know how they are being manipulated. And then people have a wild imaginations, and all kinds of crazy, strange things come out. Now, because I'm not making any judgment, because I don't know if the conspiracy theories are true or not. I don't have enough evidence. I'm not going to just say it's wrong, but it does seem pretty over the top to me, some of the stuff that I'm hearing. But at the same time, history shows that most conspiracy theories have some basis in truth or reality, and often they are blown out of proportion or taken in a different direction. But the point being is, like in the movie Thrive, follow the money, follow the power, follow the chain of power, and you can have a pretty good idea of what's going on. It doesn't have to be alien intervention. It doesn't have to be reptilian races ruling the planet and harvesting our energy. It could just be a greedy bunch of people that have control over the pharmaceutical companies, that have control over the governments, that have control over the oil industry, that have control over big tech. And in this vaccination program, the pharmaceutical companies make billions, if not trillions of dollars that comes out of our taxes. If you think you're getting a free vaccine, that's not the case. The governments have to pay for it. And then big tech steps in and creates the databases for our vaccine passports. So they're making a lot of money also. So there's a flow of money. There's a flow of power. There's a maintenance or maintaining of control. And I think if you understand that, you don't have to really go too far into conjecturing what other factors are involved. I think, but getting back to the point, a lot of people miss that, and a lot of things happen right under our noses because of fear. And fear is a very, very powerful program. And when we are in fear, that's our survival instinct. Our cortisols and our adrenaline and about 10 or 12 other hormones are running crazy in our body, affecting our health, affecting our immune system, affecting our judgment. And fear is about survival. That's why we have fear. If we feel fear, it's registered as our survival being threatened, and we want to destroy the enemy. And maybe the enemy to you are the anti-vaxxers. Just perspective, just take that into account. And the thing is, instead of reacting, observe yourself reacting. Like, I'll get into my, I'm awakening also. I'm not an enlightened master. I'm right there with you, doing my work, doing my processes and awakening. I'll go through moments where I feel terror. And what I am doing now is, instead of feeding on that and making it worse, I'll step back and observe myself getting scared, or observe myself getting anxious, or observe myself getting sad, or whatever it is. And when you do that, you become the observer of the program, and you're no longer are the program. And that's where change begins. So that's my message for today. Hopefully not too many people unsubscribe, but if they do, so be it. The idea here for the Medium channel is to be in our integrity, to be authentic, and to assist other people in creating conscious community, and assisting other people in their awakening process as we are awakening ourselves. So anyways, that said, so we talked a little bit about Beltane rituals already. And again, this is the time to plant your seeds. The earth is very fertile. And a couple of breathing exercises that I want to do. One is it's from yoga practice, but I recently learned how to do what's the name of supernatural breathing that Dr. Joe Dispenza brought us. So I'm going to share the way that I do that with you. It's one of the breathing exercises. And the other one is, those of you that follow me regularly are going to get tired of hearing this, but we're going to do I'll show you a little bit of a long, deep breathing technique. So what's happening in nature, and if we are able to sync in with nature and go with the flows of nature, then it's very empowering. So if you do things according to what's happening in the world around you, it adds power to it. So right now the energy is rising up. It's rising out of the earth, and animals are no longer hibernating. Trees are starting to turn green here in the Catskills, and this breathing will help you to raise the energy from your lower chakras up into your crown chakra. And the lower chakras are basically for elimination or sexuality. So what do we do with the root chakra and the organs around that? We pee and we poop, right? And then with our sacral chakra, it's about sexuality and creativity. So that's the orgasm, which is also a release of fluids. And there's actually a form of for the guys, I think women can do this too in a different way, a form of semen retention where you achieve a state very close to orgasm, but instead of ejaculating, you actually pull the energy up into your crown center, and then you sort of have a brain orgasm, so to speak, and you activate your upper chakras that way. That's part of our tantra training, but you can do this with just breathing. So in any event, long, deep breathing is just simply this: clearing your mind, get present. Presence is the key to everything. When you're present and you're aware, that then you connect more with energy and spirit. When you're lost in your thoughts, you're lost to spirit. You're cut off basically from energy, from spirit, from everything, except what's going on in your head, basically. So presence is just that, being aware. Stop your thoughts, be aware of your breath, be aware of your body, be aware of everything, but focus on nothing. And if you can achieve that state, then you start to vibrate at a different frequency, and you start to connect more with spirit, or the quantum field, if you like the more scientific take on it. And spirit is what created everything. All time and all possibilities already exist. So when you stop your thinking, then the mental constructs or the illusions that you've created in your life start to dissipate, and then possibilities that maybe that you haven't considered start to come into your life, start to come in to your consciousness, and start to come into your being. And Um, and long, deep breathing is one process of doing that. So you just get present, be aware of your breath, and be aware of any thoughts that are coming up, but don't think, just be aware. And then when that happens, you start to feel energy around you. And universal energy is pure love, by the way. So it's the highest resonance in the universe. That's why it's universal. And so when you inhale from your diaphragm, you draw that into your heart, circulate that around, and exhale and release. And at this time, I would suggest releasing fear, releasing negative programming, releasing disease, releasing all that kind of stuff, the media and all that kind of stuff. Inhale, exhale. Just do that for 3 minutes, 2 to 4 times a day. It'll make a really, really big difference. And the more you practice presence, the more you're going to be aligned with spirit, and the easier it's going to be to start to pull out of the programs that have affected all of us throughout our whole lives. And I'll probably go more into detail on the nature of programming in another video or another live stream or whatever. But for the sake of keeping this at a reasonable time, so suffice it to say, and again, I'm being a little repetitive, but suffice it to say that this is a very challenging time. Everything is changing. Everything's coming to a head now. Astrology and numerology backs it up. May, June, and July are absolutely going to be challenging, difficult, crazy months. If you wish to get more information, look up Sharita Starr, either on Facebook or on the internet. She's able to give you the numerology and the detailed astrology that's happening, how that's affecting the country, and how things are likely to play out. So it is an awakening, but it's also right now is the shift. It's not quite the awakening yet. It's the shift and the purge. So we'll call it the purge. It's like releasing all the negative programming that's built up through not just your life, but the generations that preceded you. This is the time to release and purge that, so that later in the year and in 2022, which is a universal 6 year, which is more about community and about service and about love, that's when a lot of awakening is going to happen. So brace yourselves. The Medium channel is here for you. So jumping around a little bit, I got up very early, did a long meditation, did my cold shower, did yoga. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm a little spacey this morning or this afternoon, so I haven't even had anything to eat yet. And then I have to start my readings from 3 to 8 today, so it's a busy day. So anyway, sorry that I'm a little all over the place, but in any event, so getting back to the Joe Dispenza breathing technique, which is very, very similar to something that I do from Kundalini Yoga. And by the way, if you practice yoga, Sat Kriya is an exercise in Kundalini Yoga that has a very similar effect of bringing energy from the lower chakras up into the crown and expansion through the crown chakra. In this breath technique, we use what's called the bandhas in yoga. It's the energy locks. And the way that you do this, and again, to reiterate, the idea is bringing energy from the lower chakras. Instead of using that for elimination, you actually bring it into your upper chakras. You bring that energy up into your upper chakras, and then you expand through the crown chakra. And then when you expand, then on the exhale, you allow spirit or the universal energy to just kind of come down to your crown and come back down into your root chakra, basically. The only little difference is in Kundalini Yoga, we actually start at the sacrum and bring the energy down into the root and then back up. And in this breathing technique, we start at the root. So what you do is when you inhale, the first thing is you, how do I explain this? You kind of pull up your root chakra. There's a word for this. I can't think of it. It's sort of like you're contracting, almost like you're holding back a poop. That's the best way of putting it. It's like you have to poop, but you're not near a toilet. So what do? You pull up on your seat, on your lower and your lower there's a word for it, I can't think of it, oh my god. Anyway, you get the idea. You pull that, then you bring your stomach, you raise your stomach and pull your belly in as close as you can to your spine. And then with your solar plex, you do the same thing. So as I'm inhaling, I'm pulling up on the on the on the lower chakra, on the root. Then I'm squeezing my stomach, squeezing my sacral chakra. Then I'm also squeezing my upper stomach as I'm inhaling. And then I'm expanding through the heart as and I'm also applying the bunda on my throat, or the bunda, actually, not the bunda, the bunda on my throat. So I'm actually subtly squeezing through my solar plex, my heart, my throat, my third eye, and then the energy goes up into the brain. And it takes practice, but if you do this at some point, you may go into a gamma experience, or what Joe Dispenza calls having a mental orgasm. Like if you do it right, at some point that may happen. And what happened, it's like an experience of enlightenment. It's what happened to me when I was 19, spontaneously, when all of a sudden I got struck down with white light, and I just knew everything for a split second. And in that moment, my spiritual journey began, because I knew that it was all a crock of shit. You excuse my language, but I knew that everything that I had learned and the values in society were just more to diminish our power rather than to help us. And that's where my spiritual journey began. That was 43 years ago. So I've been at this a while. So but now that I'm learning about quantum physics and about the science behind spirituality, I see what happened was basically a spontaneous gamma experience. And sometimes when you have that, it's like it releases natural DMT in the brain. So a lot of people like to do ayahuasca and stuff like that. But through breathing exercise, you can naturally release DMT in your brain and have very, very vivid images come up, visions, prophecies, all that stuff can happen. So this is one technique to help that. And it's very consistent with the season of Beltane, because this is the time where we're rising the energy from the roots into our crown, into our branches, and into the ether. So let's do a little bit, and I'll try to guide you through it. So just empty with air, and then you start your inhale, pull up on the root floor. That was the word I was trying to think of before. You keep inhaling, squeeze your stomach, squeeze your upper stomach, pull up through your heart, your throat, and pull the energy up into your head and into your crown. Hold for maybe a couple seconds, and exhale and release, and just let the energy settle back down. And just do a couple of breaths like that. And by all means, practice this. And the other thing I'd suggest is maybe to look up Joe Dispenza's work and see the way that he does it also as well. I think I'm doing a slight variation. It's just sort of based on my yoga practice more than anything. When I first heard about this breath, I was like, that's Kundalini yoga. That's what he's doing. Although I think it's more akin to Kriya yoga than Kundalini yoga, but I never studied Kriya yoga. So anyways, so again, just take a nice deep breath, pull up on the root floor, pull your stomach together, your solar plex, pull up on your heart, your throat, pull the energy up as you inhale to your head, top of your head, hold for a second, feel it circulating and expanding, then exhale and relax. I'll just try a few more like that. And okay, very good. Perineum. Thank you, Deborah. Yeah, I'm watching your clinch the perineum. Thank you, Carla. Yes, well, then pull your belly button to your spine. Thank you for read what Carla's saying also as well, because she studies this stuff too. And what else I want to say? Oh, and an announcement. Tarot time is on this Sunday. On May the 9th, we're going to skip tarot time because my son is graduating that day. So Sunday, May 9th, there's no tarot time. We're taking a week off. But this Sunday, May the 2nd, we're going to have that at 11. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to do free mediumship here on the channel. So again, I just pick up on the spirits. I put out what they're saying. I look at my little live feed and see who can take it. And that's how I work with that. And it's my way. It's a twofold reason that I do this. One, to thank my subscribers and my community for being here, and two, it's a promotional event, so that helps me to attract new subscribers and new people into the community. So I do that around the Celtic Sabbath. So we're in Beltane now. The next one is Litho, or the summer solstice, which will be the 1-year anniversary of the Medium channel, June 21st. So we're going to party like it's 1999, even though it's 2021 on that date. So yeah, practice the breathing and research. And again, when you feel anxious, when you feel the weight of the media, try to stay a step back and observe yourself relaxing. Then you're not the program anymore. You're watching the program. When you're emotionally charged, you can't do a darn thing. At least I can't. Like if I'm in a really pissed off mood, all the deep breathing and somebody saying, just think positive in the world, not going to get me out of a pissed off mood. But if I reprogram my responses, the next time something similar happens, I can stay in my grace and dignity. I don't have to go into those lower vibrations and frequencies. So anyways, that is what I have for you. And thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next time at the next video. And if you want to do me a little favor and just hit that little thumbs up, maybe more people will maybe YouTube will share this event with more people. So thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Namaste and aloha.